The arena was alive with energy. Thousands of spectators packed into the Seoul World Martial Arts Expo, an annual gathering where the greatest fighters from around the globe showcased their art. The banners of different styles, karate, Muay Thai, judo, Taekwondo, Wing Chun, fluttered proudly above the stage. Lights flashed, drums thundered, and the crowd roared in anticipation of the next performance. On the main stage stood Min-Jae, a towering figure in his late 40s. His black Taekwondo dobok was pristine, the belt around his waist faded from years of training. He was a living legend in South Korea, known for his devastating kicks, iron discipline, and fiery pride. Yet tonight, arrogance gleamed in his eyes as he took the microphone. Taekwondo, Min-Jae's voice boomed, is a warrior's art. It is real. It is earned. But today, the world is filled with pretenders. Actors, stuntmen, frauds who pretend to fight on screen. He paused, letting his words sink in, then leaned forward with a smirk. Take Christopher Cole, for example. A so-called master? No, just a Hollywood choreographer. A fraud who taught frauds. The crowd gasped. The name Christopher Cole was not unfamiliar. To many, he was a respected martial artist who had worked in Hollywood films, blending authentic techniques with cinematic choreography. To one man in the audience, however, that name meant much more. Jason Statham, dressed simply in a black jacket, sat in the middle rows. His jaw tightened, his fists clenched. Christopher Cole wasn't just a name to him. He was mentor, teacher, and friend. Jason had trained under him before his rise to Hollywood fame, learning not just martial arts, but discipline, humility, and respect. And now, in front of thousands, Min-Jae had spit on his teacher's legacy. Jason rose from his seat. The murmurs spread instantly through the crowd. Whispers of recognition rippled across the arena. Is that Jason Statham? No way, what's he doing here? Hollywood star, but can he really fight? Jason walked down the aisle with steady, deliberate steps. No theatrics. No posing. Just calm, unshakable resolve. He climbed the stage and took the microphone from the announcer. His eyes locked on Min-Jae's. You can insult me all you want, Jason said in a low, steady voice. But you do not insult Christopher Cole. That man gave his life to martial arts. He deserves your respect. The crowd hushed. Min-Jae smirked, amused. Respect? He was a fraud. And you, he jabbed a finger at Jason, are nothing but an actor pretending to be a fighter. Do you dare prove otherwise? Jason didn't flinch. He removed his jacket, revealing a lean, sculpted physique honed from decades of real training. He tied on a simple pair of gloves offered by a staff member. His face remained expressionless, but his eyes carried the weight of fire. The announcer, sensing the explosive drama, declared into the mic. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an unexpected challenge. Jason Statham vs. Grandmaster Min-Jae. The arena erupted. Phones came out. Fans screamed. Cameras zoomed in. This was no movie set, this was real. The match began. Min-Jae moved first, lightning fast, his foot snapping into a spinning roundhouse kick that cracked the air. Jason blocked, but the impact sent him stumbling back a step. Min-Jae laughed loudly. Is this your Hollywood defense? Weak. The crowd gasped. Jason adjusted, but Min-Jae was relentless. Another spinning hook kick whipped toward Jason's head. Jason ducked, but Min-Jae followed with a side kick that struck Jason's chest, sending him staggering backward into the ropes. The audience roared in shock. Jason looked vulnerable, like the Taekwondo master was toying with him. Min-Jae spread his arms mockingly, bowing to the audience. This is your hero? This is your fighter? He shouted, humiliating Jason in front of thousands. Jason breathed heavily, but he didn't react to the taunts. He remembered Christopher Cole's words, "A true warrior doesn't fight with ego. He fights with purpose." Min-Jae launched another high kick, aiming to finish the spectacle. But this time, Jason caught his leg midair. The arena froze. In one swift motion, Jason twisted and swept Min-Jae's standing leg, slamming the master onto the mat. The crowd erupted with a deafening roar. Jason didn't gloat. He didn't pose. He simply stepped back, letting Min-Jae rise. His silence was louder than any insult. Now the tide shifted. Jason's movements became sharper, precise. His background in karate and kickboxing showed in every strike. A stiff jab connected with Min-Jae's jaw. A crushing body shot forced the air out of his lungs. Min-Jae tried to retaliate with another spinning kick, but Jason slipped inside, countering with a brutal elbow strike to the chest that sent the master staggering. The crowd was on fire. Chanting. Screaming. Witnessing a man who wasn't just an actor, but a warrior defending his teacher's honor. Bruised and panting, Min-Jae launched one desperate flying kick, aiming straight for Jason's head. Time slowed. Jason pivoted, sidestepped with flawless timing, and delivered a devastating spinning back kick to Min-Jae's ribs. The sound echoed like thunder. Min-Jae collapsed to the mat, gasping for breath. The referee rushed in, waving his arms. It was over. The crowd exploded into applause, half in shock, half in awe. People leaped from their seats, cheering, clapping, chanting Jason's name. Cameras flashed from every corner. Jason didn't raise his arms in victory. He didn't taunt. Instead, he walked to Min-Jae, who lay clutching his side, humiliated but alive. Jason knelt, looking him in the eyes. "Martial arts isn't about pride," Jason said softly. "It's about respect. Remember that." He stood, placed a hand on his chest, and bowed, not to the crowd, not to Min-Jae, but to the memory of Christopher Cole. The arena fell silent, then erupted again, this time, not just for Jason Statham the actor, but Jason Statham the fighter, the student, the man of honor. And in that moment, everyone understood, legacy is not built on arrogance, but on respect.
In the end, the battle was never just about strength or skill, it was about respect, discipline, and integrity. True martial arts is not measured by arrogance or fame, but by humility and the honor one shows to teachers, peers, and tradition. Jason Statham's victory reminded everyone in the arena that legacy is earned through respect, not through pride, and that the heart of a true warrior beats not for glory, but for the principles they live by.